the next episode of my city Skylines series, when I'm attempting to build a Japanese themed village, though I should probably call it Japanese themed city since it's grown so much from what I've originally planned, but it's alright. I just decided to continue with it and just change the theme from the village to the city. But since I'm actually building a city now and not a village, there are things that I want to do kind of differently. So first of all, we are starting to build a holiday inn, tourist inn of some sorts, because I'd imagine that for a city this size there would be some tourism. Also, I kind of thought about a theme for the series, because I believe that every city needs some kind of a theme. When I was building a village, it wasn't that big of a matter, but since the city, it needs some kind of a theme. So I decided to since it's supposed to be located in the northern Japan, I decided to kind of go with ski resort and all of that sorts of things. So actually, we're gonna be developing more tourism in the coming episodes, but we start off with this kind of a hotel. Though I couldn't really find any more generic assets or Japanese looking assets for this kind of thing. So I'm using a Hilton Inn because I found some very good looking American assets, but I think it's kind of suiting for this location. Hilton is an international brand. I believe they do exist in Japan, so it's not that far of a stretch to have a Hilton Inn in the city. Also, I kinda changed my plans from what I said in previous episode, because from what I was planning is to have not have many landmarks in this location. So I wanted to have a train station, a school, and all the sorts of generic things. But since it's supposed to be less generic than that, I kind of changed my mind. So there definitely won't be a train station, because looking at how the railroad tracks are already placed on the map, there's really not much. There isn't really a reasonable way for me to make the tracks go to the city. Plus, I looked on Google Street View and Google Maps, and from what I saw, even in the small Japanese cities, there isn't always a railway connection. Or bigger cities, of course, always do have rails, and Japan is definitely very rail-centered. But for the location like this, I think it's not a far stretch not to have a rail, because we have a highway connection. I think it will be enough for the city this size, because while it will be a tourist city and it will have a ski resort of some kind, it still will have only like few thousand citizens living in. And I would imagine that the only time of the year where there would be more people in this village is in the winter season, where people are going to ski. So in the coming episodes, we'll be definitely developing more of the ski oriented things and tourism oriented things, because I realized that one of the very Japanese things I could have in the city, and I don't really know why I don't have it yet, is an onsen, so hot bath, hot springs of some kind. So we'll be definitely building it when I'm done, or before I'm even done with the holiday, with ski. I meant, of course, with ski resort, because I haven't really looked into ski themed assets. So at this moment, it's my educated guess. No, it's not educated guess. At this moment, it's my just guess that there do exist some ski themed assets, but we'll see. So my plans might change, but for now, let's say that there will be a ski resort, because I think that's a great fit for the city. We have some mountains around. We have northern Japanese dam, and they do get winters in there, and they do get snow definitely. So it would be fitting for this location, and I think it would give the city more atmosphere, because now it's kind of generic looking. I have some residential, I have a school, I have some farming industry, and some commercial zones, but I don't really have many things unique. There is a shopping mall just next to the hotel, but I don't think it's that unique. So it will definitely add a little to the uniqueness of the city. I mentioned farming industry before, and in this episode you won't see any kind of farms or anything like this around the city, because I built them after I finished recording this, so it's coming the next episodes, but it's just plain fields, corn, rice fields and wheat fields and all other sorts of things around the city. Nothing really interesting, but it adds to the overall detail of the location, especially when looked from top down. So what you saw me build when I was speaking, it was the Holiday Inn I mentioned. I added a few details to the backyard of the thing, and so it's not really that detailed. And what I'm going to be building now, or when I'm finished with road markings, my favorite thing definitely to do, is a school, because I said I want to have a school, a high school in the city, and since it's going to be a few thousand people living there, it's definitely reasonable to have a high school, because there will be students who need to go to school somewhere. And well, if when I was building a village that was intended to be like 300 people, it wouldn't be reasonable to have a high school. But now when it's grown bigger, it makes a little more sense. So what you see me do now is try some different high school assets I downloaded from the workshop. Though I finally went with the high school made by Ronix, or is it middle school? I'm not sure, but these assets are kind of alike, and I wanted it to have a proper size, and I think it's a middle school actually, because the high school was kind of too big for the location, but it's for the aesthetics. Like, let's imagine that this is a real high school. Also, you see these empty spaces between the streets, so the new blocks I built, and I will be feeling this, but I won't be showing this on screen because I guess we're kind of boring. I already shown building some of the houses, but in the previous episode, but it was the detailed one, so with full detailed backyards and so. But most of the houses, for my sanity's sake, are little more generic. So I do have some kind of backyard sometimes, but it's mostly just fences and sometimes benches and barbecue places. But nothing more than this. So it's not much to show. I only have at like probably 30 or 40 this urban houses I'm using, downloaded from the workshop, and this is kind of a mundane task to build this, and definitely not that interesting to show. And since it's not that interesting to watch, I've decided to build them off camera. I actually built them along with the school, but I cut the footage. So here I'm adding some details to the school. Not that much, since I'm not really sure what kind of things there would be around of the school, except for some planters, maybe bike shelter, though I don't have an asset for it yet, but I saw one on workshop, so I'll be getting it for the next episode. And I want to have some kind of track field next to the school for the physical education, though I didn't have any assets when I was recording this video, so I just left a empty space next to a school, actually a lot of empty space around the school. So I'll be putting a track field next to the school sometime later. What you see me do now is add some vegetation. I think I should get myself some more flowery looking things because I have bushes and trees, but I don't have that big choice of things for the decoration. So I'm using this bushes that doesn't really look that much like a garden and more like a something that would grow by itself, but I think it's kind of okay, so I'm leaving it as it is. And now I'm adding some retaining walls around the parking lot, so again the place the space of the school and of the industrial area, that I mean commercial area that will be next to the school are somehow visually separated. It's just a basic detailing. I think I'll be going back to this area sometime later when I have the commercial area built and when I have some more time, because I believe there are some much more interesting and important things to build in the series than adding detail to the parking lot next to the school. Again, I'm not aiming for ultimate detail, as I said the first episode. I want this place to be very detailed, but I don't want it to be 100% like real life, because first of all it probably kill my performance, second it takes too much time, and third I don't have enough experience, I believe, to build a Japanese looking city that's also super realistic, because I'm basing everything of the reference from the internet, so go street view images, vlogs, etc. If I were building a city in Europe, I would probably go for a little more detail, because I kinda feel what things would be necessary and what things would look okay in some places, and here I'm, to be honest, have a kind of vague idea of how it should look. I think it's turning out pretty okay, and I'm learning new things as I build about Japan, especially about road markings, because I know it's weird, but I just enjoy adding them, and as you see now, I put a lot of effort to make them at least semi-realistic, though I've cut most of the footage of me adding road details because it's not that interesting to watch. When I was building this school, I also detailed some of the roads neighboring it, and as you can see, there are already houses next to the school that wasn't there a while before, and these are the houses I was talking about earlier, so the ones I've built off camera or actually on cut footage. So what I was contemplating lately was changing the LUT, changing the map theme, because right now I'm using a clay red theme from Workshop, and it's nice. I like it a lot. I use it in my previous city, not a YouTube series, but let's say my private city. So, and I like it a lot, though I think that maybe is a little more fitting theme for this location. I was checking Workshop looking for the perfect one, but I couldn't really find the one that is fine in all aspects, because some of them are great in one place and then the texture of something is not that great. I know there's a mod that lets you combine textures from different themes, but I haven't tried yet, so maybe sometime later. And also, why I would like to change the theme, or at least try changing the theme, I think that it could also ruin the whole image of the city, because now everything is kind of matched to the colors of concrete and so, and changing it may change things to that drastically, but maybe in later episodes I'll be trying some other themes. What I'm adding, what I'm trying to add now is this bicycle stands, because I believe that people do bike a lot in Japan, and especially to places like school. But then I realized that the bike shelter that they tend to have in Japanese school would be more necessary. But at the point of building, I was building this school, I wasn't aware of. I was aware, but I didn't remember that there is actually some bicycle shelter assets on workshop. So I'll be changing that later. I'll be changing this whole front yard of the school, because right now it's kinda undetailed. As I said, it isn't supposed to be an ultimate detail, but now it looks kinda blank. Though I have to figure out what assets I'm actually going to use for detailing. I'm thinking about some kind of an monument of a person next to the school, and maybe adding some kind of a fence and school gate, because I think that would be realistic to have that. But we'll see in the future, and as again, it's all about what assets I managed to find on workshop, because from my very limited experience, the problem with Japanese assets is that some of the very high quality ones are hard to come around when looking for them specifically, because you either have to find them in collection or you have to search in Japanese, and that's not a thing I can really do. Okay, so here you can enjoy some cinematics, since we already at the end of the episode, and hopefully you liked what I built, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.